You might be asking, are we in a housing bubble? I got asked that all the time. Today we're going to address that $1 million question. Hi, this is Heather Lynn with Keller Williams Realty. Here in this channel, we talk about ways to maximize the sale of your home. If you find that information useful, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification button so you get a juicy video coming your way every Monday. Typically, a bubble is, this is not sustainable. A bubble is going to burst, things are going to collapse. I think this is what most people's perception are about a bubble. Where we are right now is in a very healthy supply and demand. Over the last year, during the pandemic, our economy overall has suffered. Obviously, people in the service industry got a major reduction in their jobs. The unemployment rate has gone up. However, the population that could afford buying a home is the population whose jobs hasn't been affected that much. And many families have reevaluated the importance of a space. Many professionals now have the option of working from home. Some of them even have the option of working permanently from home. And their kids have the option of learning through Zoom, part-time, or for some of the courses if they choose to. So those options allow people to think about space a lot more intensely and intentionally over the last year than ever before. And that is the number one reason why a lot more people are thinking about upsizing. Now, families who used to live in condos, now they wanted to have a yard. They wanted to have a space where their kids can roam around, where the family members are not on top of each other. And a lot of people are moving out of the metropolis area, the downtown area, to more suburban area where home prices are a little bit more affordable. For the same price tag, you get a bigger space. So we do see those type of movements, and that drives up the demand. Another important factor that is creating this good appreciation of home prices is the low interest rate. Mortgage interest rate for a 30-year loan is hovering around 3%, and that is still at a historically low point. Inflation overall is around averaging 3%, so which means that the same amount of money saved in the bank is going to lose value by 3%. Banks are virtually lending you money at the same rate. So people are taking advantage of the low interest rate. They wanted to lock in at the low point and not have to worry about their housing payments change over the next 30 years if they could lock into a 30-year mortgage. So that's something that is really conducive to home buying, home ownership right now. That's one. The other reason why we see a healthy demand for homes in current economic condition. The other major contributor is stock markets, especially in the high-tech industry and pharmaceutical industry, are doing extremely well over the last year. We see stock prices have gone up significantly for several companies. So their employees, especially around this area, in the Bay Area, a huge part of our economy is driven by high-tech. Buyers who work in high-tech naturally were able to cash out on their stock options and put towards their down payments. So a combination of stocks, combination of low interest rate, and the healthy demand for housing, the importance of space coming out of the pandemic has contributed to this huge increase in wanting to get into a home, wanting to buy a home. And across the country, there is a huge appreciation. We're talking about here in the Bay Area, somewhere between 7 to 15%, depending on which county. Over the last year, home prices have gone up by 7 to 15%, depending on the county. So that is a pretty significant appreciation. I don't anticipate the rate of appreciation to be sustainable at this rate. I think at some point it will slow down. I don't think it's going to decline drastically. I think the home prices will have to plateau at some point, and it's most likely, according to my prediction, the plateau of home prices is most likely to be triggered by an increase in mortgage rates. So if you are in the market looking to buy, now it is a good time because you can lock into a really good interest rate. And if you're looking to sell, this is an opportunity to be a very picky seller because there's a lot of people who will be competing to get into your home. We're definitely not in a bubble. The last bubble that we're in was around 2008 to 2010, and that bubble was triggered by irresponsible responsible lending, subprime mortgage. Basically, at that time, about 10, 12 years ago, anybody can get a loan. You don't have to document very strictly your income. You don't have to have a really thorough loan profile. Banks are basically handing out money, and that caused a lot of unqualified people to be able to purchase. And so when the economy suffered, those people could no longer afford the loan. They got laid off, and that's what triggered this subprime mortgage and triggered this snowball effect that created the bubble. Nowadays, banks have learned their lessons. In order to qualify for a loan, you have to have a good job, you have to have good credit score, you have to have a healthy amount of down payment. So individuals who are buying and qualify for a loan, they are legitimately been vetted, and they have documented, they have proven themselves that they could pay for their monthly mortgage. So these individuals are not likely to default. It's not the same as the last bubble. So the lending environment is completely different. So my prediction is that we are not in a bubble. We are in a very strong, healthy demand of housing. This demand is not going to be sustainable at this rate of appreciation. I do think that it's going to slow down at some point, but it's not going to decline in terms of home prices. I hope this video is helpful to you in terms of understanding our current economic environment for buying a home and selling a home. I actually just did a video right here. We did a deep dive into the stats in housing prices this year compared to last year. We did a 2021 Q1 market update. So check out this video for more details.